Hi, my name is Bryanna and this is my audience. Today I'm going to be giving you a speech just about homeschooling, and so I just want you to imagine with me for a minute. All over the world today, even especially in America, there sits 50 students with one teacher in a classroom. They learn about history, they learn about math, they learn about English, different subjects that people would learn about how to write, how to read. But there also sits in a classroom. There also is a different type of classroom that a lot of people forget about, and that's the homeschooling classroom. There sits one teacher, which is a parent, and one student, or a couple students, which is their siblings. And so, just talking about what are the benefits of that. People in the bigger classrooms can easily take full advantage of that, and they could easily fall behind or get left out because there's so many students and one teacher only. And so that's a reason why a lot of people seem to just fall back, and they don't take the opportunity of a good education. They take it for granted, and homeschoolers, they can't take the opportunity of a good education for granted. It's focusing on them alone. And so homeschooling has greater benefits than public schooling does. We will look at the reasons parents choose to homeschool their students, the education received from children, and the social behavior of homeschooled students. So the reasons parents decide to actually homeschool their students instead of sending them to public school or private school, some of the Americans' founders were actually taught in their very homes. Since the 1970s and the 1980s, homeschooling has become very popular. Actually, I want to show you some statistics. Apparently around 3 million students are being homeschooled in today's culture within the United States. The number for this huge reason has been just the different factors of Americans' education. And so if we look over here, the U.S. Department of Education in 2003 did a survey, and these are just some different reasons why they actually did it. The school environment was a reason the parents were really concerned with, and that was 85% of the parents were concerned with the school environment. Religious and moral beliefs, that was 72%, that they just had religious and moral beliefs that they didn't want their students to be influenced by other people that had different morals in them. And so that's why a lot of parents homeschool their children. They are unsatisfied with the education, the academic education there at the public schools, and that was 68%. Some others were physical and mental problems. That was 13%. That was more lower. Some students need special attention, and so that's actually a lower percentage. But those are just some of the reasons why parents actually choose to homeschool their students. And so, yeah. Just looking at that, homeschooling is also actually made way easier now than it was 25 years ago. There's a lot of different options that parents can actually take. Parents that want to educate their students at home, they have the option of doing online learning, which is actually professionally based. There are free and low-cost programs that actually help out families that want to homeschool. And so a lot of parents might be concerned, like, I don't have enough money to homeschool my students, but they can actually do classes online, and they can actually have different programs. Here's some just of the books that can actually help you, just different things that you can actually receive for free if your students are wanting to take classes at home. There's also some states even offer education tax credits or deductibles of education-related expenses, and so they can actually get that money back, any money they spend on books or things that they need for homeschooling. These are some of the major reasons why homeschooling has better benefits than public schooling. Another thing is just an average education of the basic facts is something many parents and students settle for. And so homeschooling, they don't settle for just an average education. They go above and beyond that standard. When Lawrence Revenar of the University of Maryland did an academic advancement of the test of just deciding, okay, what are homeschooling, what are public schooling, what are the different reports, he actually came up with the advantagement test of this group of homeschool students are extremely high. The minimum was typically in the 70 to 80 percentile. And so most homeschoolers are like 1 grade or 2 grades level above the average public schooler student. And so this actually helps a homeschooler finish up their high school education quicker. They can actually enter into a college education faster while they're in a high school level. They can actually receive, in some states, free college free college classes. That helps them move on to their associate's degree better, and they're even going on to a higher education. The benefit of education has many great rewards for people that choose homeschooling over public schooling. One of the biggest concerns that a lot of, even myself included, I was never homeschooled, but even myself, is, homeschoolers, how are they the outcome of their social behavior. They're alone all the time, but actually, when we're doing research, it's more of where the parents are socially, and they rub off on their student. And so where are the parents socially? If they're socially not acceptable, then most likely they're going to influence their students not to be socially acceptable. They even say, the homeschooler high five is one. That's their high five because they're alone a lot. But actually, that isn't true in today's culture. There's homeschoolers that can be more friendly, independent, higher self-esteem, and socially more developed than peers that attend a public school because of their parents. And if their parents are socially acceptable, their parents can rub off on them in a good way and be a good role model for them. Actually, Claudia Hurtbird, the director of the education of the First Institute, states that popular belief holds that homeschooler children are more socially backwards and deprived, but research actually shows opposite, that homeschooled children are actually better socialized than peers. Nowadays, there are many different clubs, classes, sports teams, and extracurriculum activities that homeschoolers can actually get involved in through homeschooling associations and things like that. They even have homeschool association proms and different fun things for students to get involved in. But parents like the fact that the one that influencing their children is actually them mostly, so not just peers of different levels, and so they can actually influence their children better. Benefits of a socially mature students are guaranteed for the average homeschooler, and so that's why the benefits of actually homeschooling your child for socially mature is actually higher. From someone that has never been homeschooled a day in their life, I understand that the point of homeschooling is really, it's weird and it's foreign to us, the concept of it, but parents are actually given the opportunity to raise up and teach their children and actually equip their children for the way that they want to set out their standard for the rest of their lives. This opportunity is a rare opportunity. The numbers of increasing of homeschooling all over the United States is going up, actually, and so the reasons of education rewards and social behavior outcomes of a student that is homeschooled are actually better. It's different opportunities that definitely should be looked in, and the benefit of homeschooler holds a bright future for many students. And so I would just encourage you, look into homeschooling, homeschool your children. Don't just rule it out at the first sight of it. It's actually a better benefit and a better outcome for your student and all.